welcome. We are celebrating 40 years, and some of the people who have been with us for 40 years. It's been fun, interesting. And for those of you who are newer to the church, I mean by like 20 years or so. If you're newer to the church, you see some of these people walking around, you don't have a clue, obviously. How would you? Who the contributions that they have made, their commitment to ministry, literally foundational in both of their giving of their lives, their resources, their time and talent. I mean, it's been incredible. But so today we are talking to Mr. Wayne Peloquin.
Woohoo!
It's like, woo!
You need to emphasize the Wayne Peloquin because they're a clan, of course, like lots of history here in this community. So if you recognize the last name, this one is Wayne.
Number 4.
Number 4.
With a tattoo after
Everybody's got their number, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
number.
So Wayne, so how long have you been coming to Maranatha? And do you remember how it started?
I started at the Camel Club, and I think what brought me to the Camel Club was I was working at Wilson Tool, and I met this young man named J.J. Johnson. Yeah. And he had just become a Christian, and I was fairly new. I'd been, probably my first year.
Yeah.
And we started just getting together on our break times, and he had heard about this church, so I came to try it out. I tried Grace Alliance in town here, and
Great.
I wound up at the Camel Club, and been here ever since.
So that puts you at 39 years, 39 plus, because we were only in the Camel Club for 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a month in my parents' basement, and then a year at the Camel Club. So ancient of days, this guy right here.
Yeah, I remember the Morleys tacking up the sheets down.
The sheets, that's right.
right.
These are great memories. I went and took a picture of that old building.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can insert it in this little thing here to see the Camel Club. But so over the years, you have been involved in pretty much everything.
I've
maybe not
probably
women's
been an
ministries.
usher for 30 years.
Yeah, that's true.
An usher for 30 years.
Because I ushered in the old building, and everybody was an usher in the schools, because you had to bring all the chairs in and set them up and then tear them down, and so I've been involved in that for a long time.
And then you were very involved as a Royal Ranger leader. Royal Rangers was the boys ministry program.
Kind of like a Scouts,
Yep.
but the Assemblies group. Yeah, I started actually in Chisago because we didn't have a group here, and Pastor Doug, who was the lead pastor when I started, asked me to go learn, so I went and worked with Ralph Dobling in Chisago and learned how to do Royal Rangers. And I was terrified. I got up the first time I got in front of the kids, I was shaking so bad I could hardly move. Because I don't like being in front of people. And over the years, just being involved with the church has brought me out of that.
Yeah, I love it. You did it afraid.
Yeah.
You weren't an expert. You weren't a professional.
No.
I love that spirit, though. It is really a pioneer spirit. Here I am. God, use me.
Use me. Yeah.
Right.
And I think newer people need to hear that too. They can't just sit back and go, well, I'll let somebody else take care of it. No, the church is yours.
Yes.
We're celebrating 40 years, but what's going to take place in the next 40 years? You are foundational in that. So, okay, so you were very involved with the Royal Ranger program and a lot of for years. And then you actually served as a board member.
Several times, yes.
Several times.
First time I got elected, I was made the one who took care of the books.
Treasurer.
So I took care of everybody's giving, and I actually bought the first computer for the church and set up software on it to keep track of people's giving. And I tried to use QuickBooks at the time.
Yeah.
To keep
Okay,
track,
so
and I was having a hard. And I ended up going to Century College and taking an accounting class to try to learn how to do, because I didn't know how to do the books either.
now I have to admit, you just mentioned that. I had never heard that before. I didn't know that you went and got education on your own dime so you could do your volunteer service to ministry better. That's incredible.
That's part of what got us here.
Right.
I mean, all that heart.
All right.
Hard sacrifice, dedicated hard work. Pretty well. Okay, now this is kind of funny, but kind of sad. I remember one day, do you remember this? I asked you, I said, hey, Wayne, do you think the majority of people in church are tithing? Do you remember what your answer was to me?
I think I said no.
You said, if they are, they're on welfare.
Yeah, that would have been a good answer.
That was your answer. Well,
Yeah.
if they are, they're on welfare. It was just interesting. You just see a whole different.
Because I was seeing what everybody was giving. I mean,
So
not
you
that I
did.
shared it with anybody, but
Right,
yeah.
right.
Pretty well.
Yeah.
So in all the years, are there, I know it's on the spot, but can you think of some things when you think about 40 years? Think about your whole life,
Right?
dedicated, grew up as a Christian, discipled, serving, discipling others, right here in one place.
Right.
Are there any, the good, the high, the bad, the funny, memorable things that kind of stand out in your mind?
Yeah, I watch people come and go. I've been involved with actually going and firing 2 pastors, which was a sad, really sad situation. You see the hearts of some people, and
You just read, you came with me.
yeah,
Yeah.
and guys. I watch guys come and go, and it's like we were talking earlier about, they have a breakup, they go through a divorce, and I've been divorced, so I understand the pain of it all. But they come and they say, yeah, I got to get back together with God. I gotta get my life straight. And then they meet another woman and they're gone. And I know one guy, he was in and out like 4 times over 10 years. I'd see him come in the door and I'd go, he broke up with whoever he was with this time. That just breaks my heart to see guys go through all that.
Yeah.
And women do the same thing, I'm sure, but I'm not involved with the, women.
It's just hard though, because you know the pain and agony. It's like, there's
Yes.
a way to not have this happen.
Yes.
Don't leave, keep growing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fundamentally, they want to be happy.
correct.
They want to be
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
And obviously, the greatest joy, if you can make it through these stormy times, is to realize that the joy comes from serving God,
Right.
being obedient, trusting Him. And Wayne, I use you as an example all the time. For someone
Good
who's
one.
been through a divorce, very good example. A very good example. Because the divorce was not your doing. You guys were both non-Christians. You got saved, she didn't, and it created a lot of stress. It made it difficult for you to serve God as a Christian because she's not very pleasant. Didn't want you to live that lifestyle. And really, if you think about it, came into it unfairly.
Yeah.
You were both together,
Right.
partiers,
Yeah.
then you get saved, now you're changed, she still wants to party.
Mhm.
But you were not going to get a divorce. You did everything you could do, and I use you as an example all the time.
Yeah.
You
9
were-
9 years.
Just 9 years.
I never dated, I just stood for my marriage.
Yep. And you weren't going to think about it until she got remarried.
Right.
And that was 9 years.
Yep.
And even when she did, you didn't rush out and get remarried right away.
No.
You were this idea of, I'm just going to serve God, and if something happens,
Right.
the person comes along. But so many people, so many times they speed ahead. And again, I realize people are watching this, that they're listening, go, yeah, that was me. I speeded ahead. I did whatever. There's no shame or condemnation.
Right.
But I think the best example of living in that situation was you. I've never seen in my life. And says, God, I'm not going to divorce her. As long as she wants to stay married to me, like the scripture says. And it wasn't fun being married to a non-believer. And then when she left you, you still weren't even thinking about dating till she was committed. It's just phenomenal. Most guys, most people, humans, we would have kind of moved on from there. But so I use you as an example of someone who's serious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somewhere along the line, you realized humans can't fulfill you.
Right.
And in scripture, when you get to that point, it's not easy, but it is the truth.
Right.
It is Jesus who fulfills us.
Yes.
Humans add to that, but when you keep thinking, you keep making that same mistake over. Oh, I'm going to have kids. Kids are going to fulfill me. It's like, no, kids are great. What a blessing.
Yeah.
Having a partner, that's a blessing, but they aren't what fulfills you. So somewhere in that journey, that became magnified, and it was. We do celebrate that, watching that kind of growth, because it takes some people a different journey to get to that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So in 40 years, man, you saw 4th of July parades,
Oh yeah.
lake
Marston.
baptisms,
Yeah.
Marston
Yeah.
almost.
Got baptized in the lake myself. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, the beginning of the car show. I mean, everything, 40 years, that's the whole life of the church.
Yeah. Yeah, the beginning of the car show and you know, looking at that pad we put in and going, and the first time we had the burnout contest going, why did we aim it at the doors? You know, cause it
Yes.
smelled so bad in the old building for a week, just nothing but burnt rubber.
Lesson
Yes.
learned.
Because the burnout pad was right up against the double doors, the back
Well, it was
doors.
nice and organized. where
Yes, it
was.
looked
was
great.
but
And then we thought about it. It's like, oh yeah, smoke went in inside
Yeah.
the building.
And I've seen the result, like you, probably after all the years you've been here, I saw the result of my ministry in Royal Rangers. I come in here one day and David Morley is working in the office. He was one of my Rangers.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Chad was one of my Royal Rangers.
Mhm.
Alan Bergeron, a couple of years ago up at men's retreat, he comes up, he says, "You're Wayne Peloquin?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You don't understand. You guys were like gods to us back then." He said, "We just loved Royal Rangers."
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, he's very involved up at our Chisago Lakes
Yeah.
campus right now. Him and his wife, yeah, they're just fantastic.
yeah, so,
These little shavers you impacted.
yeah.
Okay, so there's a big plug for
all
children's
these little
ministry and youth
spurts,
ministry.
yeah.
Man, seriously, get involved. Call Pastor Tina and Pastor Gail. Say, hey, is there anything I can do to help and to make a lasting, lifetime impact in people's lives?
Right.
Oh, that's wild,
Mhm.
crazy. And now for fun, you ride a motorcycle. Have for years.
Just kind of happens.
I do, not as much as I'd like to. I got involved in the wood shop now, and it's like,
You're in this 4 years. Now you're involved in the wood
now
shop.
I kind of feel obligated to be here working
In the wood shop.
instead of out on my motorcycle or in my boat.
Okay, so do you want to give a
Yeah.
plug for the wood shop?
Yeah, you know,
Great group of people.
yeah, there's like 3 of us mainly that work in the wood shop, and we develop products. Some of them are, you know, we just come up with an idea, we make some, and everything we make, we try to sell, you know, at shows or, you know, like the car
Craft
show.
shows.
We'll have a
Car
little
show.
booth at the car show, heydays. We're gonna be at Chisago Days, whatever that is. We're gonna be there this year with a booth, and everything we sell goes to support our car care ministry, which is another ministry that a lot of people don't know we have, you know, which, you know, does car care for a lot of single moms and widows and vets and
Yep.
whoever else, I
Yeah.
guess the church decides needs it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So come check it out.
yeah,
You could paint. You could just run the drill press and some of these
Right.
mass-produced things. Yeah, it's whatever. Oh, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Gal, Wayne, I just think about all the years
been a lot.
we've grown up together. Have you seen
Yeah.
pictures of us 40 years ago?
I've probably got some.
We're 40 years younger.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you were just a kid because I'm older than you. And
yes.
I'm like, and when you became head pastor, then it's like, now I gotta put myself under this youngster, you know.
Youngster, yeah.
This wild man, you know. I mean, and especially when I was on the board. I mean, there's a lot of times I did not agree with what you were doing, but I knew the call that was on Maranatha as a body, and so we just went with it, you know. It's like I try to tell people about unity. That's a big deal with me. If we can't have unity, everything's just
Mm-hmm.
nothing's gonna stand, you know.
Nothing does.
And so I tell people when I was on board all the time, that was the deal. We'd go in there and we'd knock heads and we would discuss things and have disagreements. But when we came out the door, we were in unity. We made a decision. Now everybody's on board with it. Nobody's saying, well, I didn't vote for that, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I remember we had one board member, and again, I mean seriously, honestly, not saying it. I respect this guy, his wife, the family, so much, but he wasn't too sure about the whole car show thing.
all right.
You know, doing a car show.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, whatever. And so, but nobody would ever know who that person was because I've never said anything, and he didn't either. Because right after that, once the decision is made,
Right.
no, we're unified.
Yeah.
We're not going to allow people to bring division and all that. So him and I are standing out there early for the first car show, and cars are starting to roll in. And he says to me, "They're really going to come, aren't they?" I go, "Yeah, they're really going to come."
Yeah.
And he said, "So they're just going to hang around their cars all day and visit with people?" I said,
Yeah.
"That's what they're going to do." It's like, wow. And it turned out to be a very fun event,
Yeah.
uneventful as far as any injuries or whatever else, but
Yeah.
it was great. But always that wonderful sense of unity.
Yeah.
Pulling together, going the same direction.
Even with that, a lot of people don't know we had a mosh pit.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I remember those. Yep.
Yeah, we did. We had square dancers in the church.
Yeah,
We had all
yeah.
kinds of things that people are like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, the church. Yeah.
Well, that's why our motto is 40 years of breaking stereotypes.
Yeah.
Still at it, breaking stereotypes.
Yeah, over the years, I was a lot more legalistic when I came in. And I think it was more for my protection than anything. I had to just stand on something
Yeah.
defined.
Defined, yeah.
But over the years, I've come to realize that, I think personally that God just really doesn't give a crap about a lot of what
we
give,
think.
you know.
It's
That would
important.
make a great
Hey,
shirt.
preach
He
it.
just doesn't care.
God doesn't
Yeah,
give a
just
crap
doesn't
about
care.
what
It's not an issue, no.
Yeah, we don't
Love
care
God,
what
love
you had for
people.
That would make
breakfast or,
huge issues out of them.
what color your clothes are, your hair, it doesn't matter,
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, he's looking at your heart.
Yes.
That's cool. Wayne, thanks for being such a great part of the body and
Yeah.
personal friend in so many ways. I've looked up and admired you. You've helped me in so many ways
Well, helped all
It's
of
been
us.
great.
Yeah.
and helped everybody, helped the body.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. So
Your dad, when I first came here, he used to just invite me over and just we'd walk around his property. And he would just minister to me, just one-on-one, just disciple
Yeah.
me,
he definitely knows how to talk.
Yeah.
He just talked to you as you walk around. My
Yeah.
dad,
Yeah.
he definitely likes. Hi, Dad. He talked to you.
Yeah.
You walk around.
Well,
I can tell you, I went for a lot of talks too, walking talks.
Yeah, he didn't
Oh
have
yeah,
a stick
probably a
on it.
little differently,
Yeah.
but we did a lot of. I wish you'd just beat me, Dad. Just beat me,
Yeah.
and let's get it over with. But no, we gotta walk. We gotta talk.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. So
Yeah.
anyway, hey, thanks, Wayne, and
You're
enjoy
welcome.
the benefit of seeing just a little glimpse of some of the people
Yeah.
that you see around here.
Right.
Never have an idea who they are, foundational. And I want to just challenge you, give thanks to them, but realize now that you're foundational in the lives of so many others.
Yeah, do something, do something.
I like
Amen. Don't just do it, new shirt, do something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's good. Have a great day.